An 82-year-old retired schoolteacher leaves home for a routine doctor's appointment and never comes back. No accident, no foul weather, no trace. For 8 months, her disappearance was brushed aside as a sad tale of old age and fading memory, until a team of loggers stumbled upon her car buried deep in a remote Ohio forest. What was inside that vehicle flipped the investigation upside down and revealed that the people closest to her had the most to hide. Welcome to Echo Stories. Subscribe and hit the bell icon for more stories. Part 1, The Last Appointment. It was a quiet Thursday morning in late spring when Margaret Brennan retired. English teacher made herself a cup of tea, fed her little spaniel Molly, and headed out to her 10 a.m. doctor's appointment. She never made it. Her son Daniel was the first to notice. He called her around noon, no answer. Not unusual. But when he stopped by her home that evening, something felt off. The tea mug still sat in the sink. The leash was missing. She had taken Molly with her. But her purse was gone, her cell phone turned off. And her appointment, she'd called ahead at 9:37 a.m. to say she was running late due to traffic. That was the last anyone ever heard from her. Police investigated but found no signs of struggle, no broken windows, no wreckage, no credit card activity, just silence. Some officers whispered dementia. Others muttered she probably wandered. But Daniel didn't buy it. "This is my mom," he said. She remembered every student she ever taught. She did the New York Times crossword in pen. She didn't just wander off. Still, with no evidence of foul play, the case went cold. Until 8 months later, when a pickup crew in Blackwood Forest hit something metal under a layer of branches and dirt. It was a silver sedan, Margaret's car. And inside, everything she left home with, except her dog, and her body. Part 2, The Car in the Forest. The car was found nearly 20 miles from Margaret's home, wedged between tree trunks, hidden beneath a thick layer of pine needles and mud. Someone had clearly tried to conceal it. The windows were rolled up, the doors locked. Inside, her handbag, her glasses, her cell phone, and even her wedding ring, all untouched. It looked less like a car left behind and more like a scene preserved. The dog leash was missing, but Molly, the little spaniel, nowhere to be found. Forensics ruled out natural causes. There were no drag marks, no signs of animal activity. The question everyone was asking: why would an 82-year-old woman drive 20 miles into a dense forest she'd never visited, park her car, and vanish without taking her phone or her dog? Police reopened the case, and this time they looked closer at the people around her. Daniel began digging through his mother's personal records, something he had avoided for months out of grief. That's when he found it: a worn blue notebook, Margaret's financial ledger, handwritten entries in perfect cursive. Every dollar she spent, every appointment, every grocery run. And in the margins, he saw a name again and again: Ashley K., marked next to checks for $80, $120, $150. Beside the last two entries, a shaky question mark. Daniel flipped further, notes like, "Ashley stayed late again. Don't like how she speaks to Molly. Where did my watch go?" Then one final note dated just days before she disappeared. "Called Daniel re Ashley and the bank withdrawals." Daniel froze. He didn't recognize the name, but it was clear Ashley was no stranger. And Margaret was starting to suspect something. The last entry, just one word, underlined 3 times: liar. Part 3, The Liar Named Ashley. The name Ashley K. didn't appear in Margaret's will. She wasn't family. She wasn't listed as a caregiver through any agency. But Daniel's mother had written checks to her. Multiple, over several months. So Daniel did what any son would do. He started making phone calls. After 3 voicemails and a blocked number, Ashley finally picked up. Her tone was sweet. Too sweet. "Oh, Mr. Brennan, I've been meaning to call you. I still have some of your mom's medications and house keys." Daniel's grip on the phone tightened. "You still have her keys?" he asked. "Oh yeah," Ashley replied, almost cheerful. "I figured I could swing by and drop them off. Maybe help you clean out the place. I know where everything is." Something about her casual tone made his stomach turn. That night, Ashley showed up at Margaret's house. She was in her 20s. Platinum blonde ponytail, designer purse, oversized sunglasses even though the sun had just set. Too much perfume, too many smiles. Daniel watched her move around the house like she still belonged there. She even paused to pet the family photo on the mantel. "She always said this frame was crooked," Ashley laughed. Daniel didn't laugh. She handed over a small pill bottle and a worn keyring. Then she stepped toward the old antique safe in the den. "I guess you haven't cracked this open yet?" she asked, tapping it casually. Daniel didn't answer, but something in her voice chilled him. She knew too much. When she left, Daniel waited, then checked the safe. Scratches. New ones. She'd tried to open it. He opened it himself that night inside untouched family documents and a loaded revolver. But one round was missing. And Daniel realized something terrifying. Ashley had been here before, alone, and she'd come prepared. Part 4, the attack at sundown. The house was quiet. Daniel sat in the den, staring at the family's safe, heart pounding. Ashley had tried to open it. She had the keys. She'd lied about everything, and Margaret knew it. He called the police to report suspicious behavior. They said they'd make a note. That night, Daniel's wife, Rebecca, got home late from work. Daniel didn't answer when she called his name. She found him on the floor of the kitchen, unconscious, tied to a chair with a dish towel stuffed in his mouth. Rebecca screamed, but before she could run, a man lunged from the shadows. Tyler Marsh, Ashley's boyfriend. He grabbed her by the arm and shoved her against the fridge. "Where's the combination?" he barked. "To the safe." Rebecca froze. "What safe?" But Tyler was shaking with rage. He pulled out a gun, the same one Daniel had found in the safe earlier. No, it was Margaret's. The one she used to keep hidden in her bedroom dresser. "I'll ask one more time," Tyler hissed. Rebecca stalled. "Let me untie him. He knows it." Tyler nodded. She rushed to Daniel. As she leaned down, she whispered, "I called 911 before I came in. They're coming." Daniel blinked once. Ashley burst into the room seconds later, wild-eyed, screaming at Tyler. "You said this would be fast." She held a duffel bag in one hand filled with documents, jewelry, even the deed to Margaret's house. This wasn't just a robbery. It was a cover-up. The two had been conning elderly people for years. Margaret had caught on. They'd silenced her. And now they were trying to erase every trace of what she knew. But blue and red lights suddenly flooded the windows. Sirens. Backup had arrived. Ashley ran for the back door. Tyler bolted toward the hallway. But they wouldn't get far. Not this time, Burrow. Part 5, the well in the woods. Police tackled Tyler in the hallway. He fought, kicked, screamed, but he was outnumbered. Ashley made it halfway down the block before she was caught behind a neighbor's shed, mud on her designer shoes hair, Wild still clutching the duffel bag. Both were arrested that night. In the hours that followed, the truth spilled out like poison. Under interrogation, Tyler Marsh broke first. He admitted that he and Ashley had been targeting elderly clients, stealing cash, forging signatures, laundering checks. They used fake medical invoices and sob stories about rent and family emergencies. And Margaret, she had started asking questions, started documenting. When Ashley caught her on the phone with her bank, they panicked. They convinced Margaret to take a drive, claiming they needed to discuss finances privately. They brought her and her dog deep into Blackwood Forest, near an abandoned copper mine Tyler knew from his childhood. There they forced Margaret out of the car, marched her to the mouth of an old mining shaft, and, one shot, with her own revolver, they tossed her body and the dog leash down the shaft. It was 60 feet deep. Then they buried the car in a separate location, hoping to erase the trail. For 8 months it worked, until the forest gave her back. Search and recovery crews retrieved Margaret's remains. A proper burial was held. Daniel finally had a place to say goodbye. Ashley and Tyler were both sentenced to life without parole. And the state of Ohio opened a new task force to investigate caregiver fraud and elder abuse, naming it the Margaret Initiative. Daniel keeps her blue ledger on a shelf in his home office. And every once in a while, when he feels lost, he opens it. Not for the numbers, but for her handwriting, her discipline, her voice. Because even in her final days, Margaret Brennan stood up against evil. And because of her, others might be saved. If this story shook you, share it. We must protect those who can't always protect themselves. Subscribe to Echo Stories for real-life mysteries, brave voices, and the truth behind what's hidden. Because even in silence, some voices refuse to be erased.